Hello, dear student. Myself, Tushar Patel from Srimati J.B. Patel College of Commerce Studies and Research, managed by Anand People's Medicare Society, affiliated to Sardar Patel University. Course name Commerce. Year TYBCom Semester 5. Subject English and Business Communication. Subject code UB05 FCOM02. Unit number 1. In this lecture, we will learn about Act 3 of Justice, which is written by John Galsworthy. This is the photo of John Galsworthy, the writer of Justice, born in 1867 and died in 1933. Now let us take an overview of our writer John Galsworthy. John Galsworthy was born on 14th August 1867 and died on 31st January 1933. He was born at Kingston Hill, England. He was the son of John and Bailey Galsworthy. His family was very rich and well established, with a very large property in England. He attended Harrow and Oxford College. He also took a second in law at Oxford in 1889 and was trained as a barrister and was also called to the bar in 1890. But, however, he was not practicing the law, and instead of this he travelled abroad for the family business. During these travels he met the famous writer Joseph Conrad, where in 1895 Galsworthy begins a writing career. His writing career begins with a short story collection named From the Four Winds in 1897. But after that, he published several plays like The Silver Box in 1906, Strife in 1909, The Skin Game in 1920, Justice in 1910, and The Forest in 1922. As Galsworthy was inspired from the literary career of Dickens and Leo Tolstoy, he begins his literary career from the short story. His story always deals with the social problem. Like in Strife, he focuses on the indifference between the employer and the employees. The Skin Game presents the battle between two social classes, the old aristocratic and the newly born rich ambitious class. Galsworthy shows rivalry between these social classes and leading the suffering of innocent people. Justice focuses on the injustice done to the prisoner by the legal system and the authority. Such prisoner, when discharged from the prison, can never behave in a normal way and may end their life with the frustration. So, Galsworthy explores the social weakness as he found in the real life. He was tried to become a serious attempt to make the society free from the weakness. as in 1921 he was elected as the first president of PN International Club. He also won the Nobel Prize in 1932. He was too ill to attend the Nobel Prize ceremony on December 10, 1932 and died 7 weeks later. He donated the prize of Nobel Prize to PEN Literary Club or International Club. Now let us talk about our play Justice. As we know that Justice is written in 1910. It is a criminal play which was played in Duke Theatre, London. And the time which is described in Justice is present time. The play Justice only contains 3 acts. Number 1, Act 1 means the beginning of the play. Number 2, Act 2 means the court scene or the trial scene. And number 3, the end. There are not so many characters like James Howe and Walter Howe, who are solicitor. Robert Coxon is the managing clerk. William Falder, the main protagonist, is the junior clerk. Ruth Honeywell, a young woman, and the judge, Mr. Justice Floyd. As the Act 1 opens in the James Howe and Walter Howe's office, the scene is the managing clerk's room. The managing clerk Coxon is sitting and writing at the table and missing some figures in the passbook. He is 60 years old. At that time, a woman comes to meet William Falder. The woman is Ruth Honeywell, and he says to Coxon that she wants to meet William Falder. Ruth insists for the meeting, and because of this reason, Coxon agrees for the meeting of Ruth Honeywell and William Falder. Now, in the meeting of Ruth and William Falder, Ruth Honeywell tells that her husband is started taking drinks. He also tried to kill Ruth and behaved very badly to the children. And because of this reason, William Falder and Ruth Honeywell wants to leave the place and live very happily at the another place. As the meeting was continued, Robert Coxon enters and reacts that Coxon does not like this behavior of meeting Ruth and Falder. Walter House enters and asks about his father. He is a very confident man, and senior clerk Robert Coxon discovers that a check of £9 was forwarded to 90. It means a check which is issued of £9 was turned into £90. The cashier comes and says James that who was the real criminal. After looking at everyone, they looked at William Falder and realized that William Falder was the person who has made this check forgery. Falder was not allowed to leave the office. And as James Howe and Walter Howe are the men of new society, they tells the police. As Falder accepted this crime by adding that he needed this money very badly. Walter argues that it was his first mistake, and Coxon tries to explain about the circumstances and the woman's. But no one believes at him, and William Falder gets arrested. So when the Act 1 ends, William Falder is arrested because of the forgery of the check. The check is turned from 9 to 90 pound. He has made a forgery of a check because of Ruth Honeyville. William Falder and Ruth Honeyville wants to live very happily, and because of this reason he had done this crime, and at last he is arrested by the police as the Act 1 ends. Look at this picture. This picture will say or take a clear idea. There is a meeting in the office. The picture 1. There are sitting James House and Walter's house, and a forgery is found, or a check is being translated from 9 to 90 pound is found, and the criminal is William Falder. And in the second picture there is the name stolen, which means the check of 9 is turned to the 90 pounds, and a forgery is made by William Falder, and at last he is arrested. Now let us talk about Act 2. Act 2 starts in the court, as Act 2 is known as the court scene or the trial scene. A court of justice crowded with a jury and reporters and lawyers. Falder sits exactly opposite to the judge. Now comes the argument by Frome. Frome is the counsel defense of Falder. He accepted that William Falder has made this forgery, but William Falder was just 23 years old, and he just want to help Ruth Honeyville, and because of this reason a forgery is made. While defending Falder, Frome said that the power of passion of love had led him to behave in a temporary mistake. So Frome says that this was a temporary mistake which was done by William Falder. But on the other hand, Coxon's summons. Now Coxon enters into the witness box and says that William Falder was pleasant spoken person and had no fault in this, as he was working in the office from last 2 years. Coxon also found that it made a very distinct impression in the mind. Now comes Ruth Honeyville's turn to enter into the witness box. Ruth Honeyville says that they wanted to marry, as her husband was drinking and wants to kill him, and because of her William Falder has made the forgery. She regrets that he had ruined his life for her. So the judge asked Ruth some question about her unhappy married life, and if it was because of the fault of both sides, she is asked to step down. Now comes the father's turn. As father committed the crime, and he also says that I have committed the crime. Father addresses Ruth Honeyville as he has done for only Ruth Honeyville's love. The entire distance from the bank to the office was just 4 minutes, and because of this, he had made a forgery of a check. But now comes Clever's cross examination. Clever is a lawyer from another side who makes cross examination and says that Falder has made a mistake or he has committed the crime. He knows that what is the meaning of 9 and what is the meaning of 90. As the Clever says, he went back to the dog. Final argument from Frome. Frome gathers all the notes and tells the judge that not to turn a weak man into a prison. But at last, Falder declares guilty. The judge explained to the jury that Falder has made a crime. He asked the members for the final judgment. The members of the judge declares that Falder is guilty. The judge addressed to the reporter that Falder is charged for the penal of 3 years in the jail. As the Act 2 ends. So the Act 2 starts from the court scene or the trial scene, where different peoples gave different opinion about William Falder. But at last the judge found William Falder guilty, and because of this, William Falder is in jail or in prison for 3 years. As this statement from the judge, Act 2 ends. And now starts the Act 3. Look, in this picture there is a description of the judge, and the judge is saying that William Falder is guilty. By this picture one can understand the Act 2. At last William Falder finds himself guilty. As the Act 2 ends, and the Act 3, which is called the ending. Act 3 starts with William Falder finds himself in jail. William Falder was shown standing motionless near the door in the prison. The scene was of Falder's cell. In his little cell there was a small window with a ventilator and a narrow small door. William Falder was shown in a disturbed mind, as his mental health was not good in the jail. As because in the prison his mental health was not good. But after 3 or 2 years, after 2 years, the scene was of Coxon's office. Ruth met Coxon and informed that she did not stay with her husband and she kept her children with her. She told that since Falder came out, she only met him the day before. She told that Falder was without employment and he was very weak. Ruth told about her helpless to the Falder. Ruth herself faced a terrible time during these years because of the absence of William Falder. She started making shirts and earned very little. She could not face the starvation of the children. She told Coxon that he would take to the partners. Coxon informed that Swindle to give a respect to Falder if he came back in the office. As after 2 years, William Falder came into the office of James House and Walter House. At that time, William Falder enters in the office. He looked very thin and he wore very bad and loose clothes. On Coxon's inquiry about his mental health, he told that he was just alive during these years. But now he wanted to change his life and he wanted to work and wanted a job. And because of his bad reputation, he doesn't get any job. And because of this reason, he is jobless. And because of this reason, he wanted the job which was in the past time. Now his condition was very misery and he slept in the park for the last 3 nights. And then he meets in the Coxon office. This meeting gave him the courage for the job. James House entered in the office along with Walter House. Walter House was very happy to see William Falder. Coxon said William Falder to go into the room. After that, Coxon said, Mr. James, if they can give a chance to William Falder and take back to the job. James inquired about Falder's present life. James had seen Ruth in the outer office when he came again. Walter found it unnecessary, and James insists on his having a clear image. Now advice is given to Falder. When he was in the office, Falder was asked to come and meet James House. He wanted Falder to forget his past and build a new image. Falder found it impossible because he doesn't have Ruth. When Walter offered to help Ruth in getting divorced, Falder asked Ruth standing outside to come and talk to James. James told Ruth that he was ready to give a chance to Falder only if they get separated. Ruth becomes unhappy and she agreed for the Falder's future. However, Falder doesn't like this idea. So, at last, one can understand that Falder is getting his own job. The job which was in the Act 1 was getting him, but only on a one condition, that he forget Ruth and stays into the present life. As we know that all the things he has done because of Ruth Honeywell. The forgery from 9 to 90 pound was done only for Ruth Honeywell. And because of this, the solicitors says that he can get his old job, but only on one condition, that he should forget Ruth Honeywell. But Falder rejects this condition and rejects this advice. At that time, Detective Wister's visit in the office. The person who came in the office was Detective Wister, who had came to know about William Falder. He informed that Falder was supposed to report at the jail very regular interval, but he also told that Falder had produced a further reference at the employment and the report is been nothing, as Coxon told him that they find very busy. Wister discovered that Falder with Ruth in the clerk's room. He arrested William Falder. While in Act 3, William Falder gets again arrested because he has to report regularly in the jail, but he doesn't do this, and because of this reason William Falder is rearrested in Act 3. While the detective was taking William Falder away, William Falder jumped from the window and his neck was broken. He was lifted and brought back and shockingly declares that he was dead. So at the end of the play, William Falder jumped from the window and he was dead. At the end, Robert Coxon told everyone that not to touch William Falder, as he was in the safe hands of gods. This was the last sentence of Coxon. So this was a play which was written by John Galsworthy. As one can understand that Act 3 has the rearrest of William Falder, and because of this reason he jumped from the window and was dead. So at the last he was dead. So one can say that Justice is also a criminal play, but it is also a tragedy because at the last William Falder is dead. So this was the summary of Justice. In the another lecture we will see the main character's role in the play Justice. Hope you have enjoyed the video.